Euro NCAP has got some new rules about blinkers and safety critical items, and boy, is this going to hurt Tesla, except it isn't. Let's figure that out. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. I'm joined by my good friend Jan from Tesla Fix. Howdy, Jan. Good to see you, as always. You're our man on the ground in Europe, in Germany specifically.
Yes.
And you know a thing or two about a thing or three. So that's why I've got you on here. Have you seen this story? Let's pull this up. We've got this great story here. Controversial turn signals are going to ding its near perfect safety rating. Is it? Because I don't get it. Tesla's controversial turn signals without the traditional steering wheel stock are going to make the automaker lose its near perfect safety rating in Europe. So first of all, Euro NCAP, are they a regulatory body or a testing body?
So they are a testing body, actually. So they test those vehicles. So they are not a government body. This means Tesla should be fine selling the cars still, but this would mean that they will get a lower rating if they don't use stocks in the car. Apparently, what we've heard. So the news just came out. So I'm also hearing this kind of for the first time. Not here. I've read it before, but it's interesting to hear from that. Yeah.
So I am here to tell you this does not affect Tesla, and I shall tell you why.
Oh, interesting.
You know when you go to make a left turn and you have to pull up a menu on your touch screen and find the blinker and select the blinker?
No, I don't know that.
Oh, that look on your face. You do not know that because that's not how it works. What do? Do you press a physical button?
Yes, a touch button actually on the steering wheel. Yeah.
Okay, so
a
if
physical
you have
haptic button.
A physical button, that blinker issue shouldn't apply. Now, if you needed to put on your hazard lights, where are those located? Do you remember?
Oh, that's so complicated. And the upside. Yeah.
So
no
that one
issue at all.
matter. The horn, that's in a touchscreen 3 menus deep, right?
Absolutely. I have to go. I can actually only start that with the voice command because I can't figure out the touch. No, but actually, no, it's a button. Yeah.
It's a button. When I want
at
to
the
press
middle,
the horn,
and the middle part, of course. The horn is in the middle as well.
Yeah, so when I want to press the
beams.
horn, what I do is I put it in park, I pull up my menu, I select La Cucaracha,
Of course.
and then the person who I wish to honk at has been gone for 20 minutes, so it's very unsafe. The windshield wipers even though they're automatic, there is still a button to activate them.
Yeah, on the touch wheel, you press the windshield wiper. And then you can select with the touch control button with the stick,
scroll
with the
wheel.
joystick, with the scroll wheel. You can adjust which way, how fast it should go. Yeah.
So we've got the horn, we've got the windshield wipers, we've got the blinkers, we've got the hazards. Those are all on touch buttons, and I would say
cameras as well. So cameras, if you need. Oh, geez, again, that's a thumbs up thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
But even if, and it doesn't work when I do it because I'm on the wrong side. But
yeah.
Come on, there it is. He loves the buttons, you guys.
Yeah.
I would argue that the radio controls, certainly to turn the volume down when you need to pay attention, should be somewhere easily in reach with a physical button. But it's right here. It's right here.
No, I thought that it was this huge stick that you have to pull down in the middle of the console.
It's a big mechanical lever. So for every safety critical item, and I've got another one here on this tab, there is, we're looking at you, Tesla. Are you? Because nothing safety critical is on here. And by the way, what car is this? This is a Volvo. But give us back our physical buttons, the team at Euro NCAP says. Targeting Tesla, disagree. Now, I can't speak to what the controls are on a BYD or an MG. When I looked at those cars in England, I didn't pay attention to that. It didn't occur to me to think about it. Maybe other companies have this issue. The Safety Watchdog Group is framing its latest demands as manufacturers like Tesla get rid of steering wheel stocks. Right, but
What are they talking about? It's so ridiculous because even Porsche, Audi has some cars even without stocks. Also, more racing cars or speedier cars or cars that are a little bit faster or sportier, they sometimes have just the touch buttons on the wheel. A Ferrari, for example, as well. So there are cars that actually have that already. So I don't get the point because it's stupid because it doesn't apply to Tesla at all.
But what about seat controls? First of all, I would argue you should not need your seat controls while you're driving. But you do have physical buttons for that as well. Those have not been moved to the screen, even though I would argue you could. It'd be a little annoying the first time you get in the car and then kind of never again. And then, right? And then,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But let's say, well, I need a button for my defrost. Well, first of all, you please turn that on before you start driving. I've never seen a sudden bout of fog. Now, sometimes I've been on the highway and it starts to get a little foggy. And do you know how many buttons I have to press to turn it on?
Actually, just one. If you do it through the hotkey, you can adjust the hotkey. You can just pull it down. It depends on how your setting is. So you can even change the hotkeys so you have it accessible very easily. So I don't get it.
I'm not that sophisticated. I just press the voice button and say, turn on defogger.
I should do that the same way. I'm a little bit. Yeah, that's true. I don't use that often. I use it for the glove box actually pretty often, like open glove box.
Yes. So I am glad to see that this is not a regulatory body.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it was, and you could say, well, the scores are going to go down. For whom? Because maybe there may be European makers for whom this is going to be an issue, but I don't know any company that's trying to move safety critical items. I think having it right where your thumbs rest is the safest place to have them. I can't imagine why that would be an issue. And then you've got the fact that there's just so many other things you can do. You can do just about anything with voice commands. And that is safer still. If you don't have the headspace to press a button and say turn on defogger or defrost, or I mean, you can control your seat warmers, you can do anything. It doesn't make sense to me that this would be an issue. And also worth noting, Euro NCAP didn't specify Tesla. That's people reading into the tea leaves, trying to find, oh, what does this mean? Oh, this fits my agenda. And I don't think it does. I think that we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, I guess is what I would say.
One more thing I want to mention here. I think Euro NCAP actually played beach buggy racing too. It seemed like on the touchscreen. That's why they were like, hey, I just can't control the car via touchscreen. What's happening? Maybe that's the reason they think it's all via touchscreen. That could be because it doesn't make actually any sense because you can use everything like as a physical button. And additionally, if you restart even the computer or if the computer fails, the Tesla computer, you can just press those two volume buttons or those two control sticks on the steering wheel. And then park, drive, and reverse and neutral is highlighted in your top where the lights are, and you can still press those buttons. So these hidden buttons that were used to be in the console where you put your mobile phone to charge, there were they before in some Teslas, but now in the Model 3 Highland, for example, they are in the top. Also, the Model Y, I think, is they changed that. So
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but.
If it's up there on the Model Y, I've never noticed it, but I've never looked because I've never needed to. The other safety issue that people who've never driven a Tesla love to bring up is I don't want the speedometer on the screen. I want it in front of me. And I will tell you, I tried to get a picture of it that would make sense. I'll still try on that. But from my point of view, looking down to where a speedometer would be versus looking not as far down and to the middle of the road is easier than literally taking my eyes farther off the road. So the people complaining about the speedometer location, I'm confident, haven't driven one. And I would further say that it's easier to know how fast you're going in a Tesla, because so much of the time, the only time I'm really in town, I'm not worried about my speed. I know how fast I'm going. I'm going, it's easy to measure, to gauge your speed while driving on surface streets, especially ones you've driven 100 times. My concern is on the highway. I've had times where I'm in maybe a rental car or a car I'm not familiar with, where I'm not paying attention and I look down and I'm going way too fast because the car's smooth, whatever. On the highway, I use autopilot. It knows it knows how fast I want it to go, and it doesn't go faster than that. So on the
Especially, you
highway,
also have it beeps. It makes a signal if you drive too fast. So you even have this indicator as well. And also, you're right. Looking down is actually way more uncomfortable, in my opinion, as well, because I use it as well, because it's in your peripheral vision more to the right lower side and to the middle of the road, like you've said. I think that's a totally valid point for me. It's not complicated. And I have to show now something. I have to share the screen here for 1 second.
please do.
This is a Renault Twingo that is also very popular, was a very popular car here. Do you see the speedometer?
Is
It's
it hidden
here.
in that little air
It's
scoop?
here. Yep,
That's-
it's over
that's-
here. That's pretty unsafe, but people got
Well,
around with those
is
cars
it?
as well. No, it's
Is it
not.
unsafe?
I've
It
used
really
it. It really isn't. It was pretty good, and actually I like the design. Road visibility was pretty great. It's almost like the Model 3, I would say. Almost.
And I love that little space holder by the right by the door where you
Yeah.
can put nothing and it'll
Yeah,
immediately
exactly.
fall out onto your leg
Absolutely.
and roll under
That's
the
the reason.
wheels.
No, under the pads that you
Under the
can't brake
pedals.
anymore. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's great. But I would argue that this car, the speedometer is in an unconventional place, but
Yep.
I don't think that makes it unsafe. And I don't imagine this car was dinged for it because
No.
it's unless you're being dishonest, it is hard to not understand what's going on. One thing I think we're going to see in the testing in future years is Tesla, without making any necessarily big changes, will just start getting better scores because the testers themselves will know what the car is. They might have one. As more people get them, if I assign Bob to go out and do the safety test on the Tesla and he's driven one before, he knows how to drive one, he's not going to think, he's not going to use it wrong. And and you can say you got to make it as easy as possible for the end user to understand how to use your product. But they are doing that. That is a thing that they are doing because there's only so much you can dumb it down. And I will tell you, my sister has a Mercedes, a pretty nice one. And I said, "Oh, why don't you use the navigation?" She goes, "You do it. You go ahead and put it in for me." And I gave up. I surrendered. You have won. I'm not going to.
Brian, you have to call the Mercedes Center and they draw you a map via a Zoom call. That's how they show you how you get to your. Yeah, it's pretty pretty luxurious service if you think about it.
It's like OnStar, but
Yeah.
worse. I love there was a post you made on X showing the amazing rear screens in the Maybach. That was where, and the Maybach, how much does that car cost?
Nothing, almost $500,000 or something,
I
400,000,
think it's a
something like this.
$500,000 car, and
Maybe even more. I'm not sure. Even.
Infotainment in the rear seat. Well, it depends on your options. I mean,
No. The more you pay, the bigger the bezels you will get. That's. I'm surprised actually that there is actually a screen.
So
I'm gonna look for it.
I showed your post to my children and said, "Look at this screen and tell me what it says to you." And he said, "Well, first of all, the UI's too cluttered." And I said, "Yes, for sure, but what about the device itself?" And he said, "That bezel is way too big." I said, "Well, what does that say to you about it?" He says to me, "It's cheap and old." And I said, "Yeah, it does look like that, and it is not like what this looks like My first tablet. Yay!
Do you see where I hid it? Can you even tell which one is the baby tablet?
It is
This
so...
one, the bezels are the same thickness even. You can really
Yeah.
see it. That's from Fisher Price here, not from
Yep.
Mercedes, of course. And it's located here. I made a small Photoshop. Of course, it's noticeable because it's white, but it's not that different actually. Even the interface, it's horrible.
I would say the bezel's even bigger on the Maybach.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think they do that because then they can iterate. Every version can have a slightly bigger screen, but the bezels, I don't know what they. I mean, this really looks like a Samsung, like a those old LG monitors from I think 2004 or 5 or something like this. From the design, it's super horrible. I can't take them seriously if they do something like this. That's pretty horrible in my opinion.
So dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
So guys, I'm going to be in the Bay Area during the week of the 18th, probably the 18th through maybe the 21st or 2nd. I'm not sure yet. If there's anything there I need to see, and I don't mean tourist attractions, I mean businesses that I should visit, by all means let me know. I asked on X, but I didn't specify, so I got a lot of tourist destinations, and then I got a lot of people saying, "Oh, you should go to X and Neuralink," and I assure you, they don't do site visits. And another said
you
that
can
Lucid
try
is.
run through security with the sync. It should work. Elon did it also. So yeah.
Yeah, he was in a little different position. They actually, he had an appointment. So
okay.
and one person said, "Oh, you should go talk to Lucid." I said, "I don't think they're interested in talking to me, because I have been brought up in meetings there before, and they don't. I have no reason to think they like me." Guys, could you do me a favor? Could you head on over to Jan's channel, Tesla Fix, and subscribe? Of course, there he gets great interviews, great guests. He puts a lot of work in, and the channel is it's a hidden gem, and I love it. It's so much fun. And then there's another thing is you got to subscribe here too. Apparently, half of my viewers are not subscribed, which is weird because
What the heck? Crush that subscribe button down below, guys.
What it means is if everybody watching actually subscribed, I'd have 100,000. I'd have my play button. I would get a little badge on YouTube that means I'm the official me, which would be cool. I think that'd be pretty awesome. It would show a lot of preference to people who I tried to get on the show, and then maybe Jan would come back. So
yeah,
I gotta get those numbers.
If we get this video to get to 100K subscribers with this video, I'll be back. I promise.
That's great. Love it. So guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Is this safety issue an issue at all? Do you think that these rules were meant for Tesla, who does have physical buttons for all the things mentioned? Or are we crazy here? Let us know in the comments below. And everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one.